Hello, so I'm back. So I've put my other sheet here that I've crossed like a 1/4 inch. Now after the back, I'm doing the bottom. So I'm going to glue the bottom on. So again, always the same space. This. Here I'm going a little bit towards the edge. I think I'm done after this one, so I won't be too bad. So here, always the same space. And the last one, which is the front. Right there. I have to check with my ruler. It's supposed to be good. See, we have all 5 pieces. So I'm going to cut the excess here, but I'm going to leave at least 1/2 inch minimum. Change this. So as you can see, we have the front, the bottom, the back, the top, and the flap. So that's how it goes. Okay. So the rest is the way that I always do my binders. So I cut a little angle, not too much, and not too close to the, I always leave like a couple of, I would say maybe an eighth, a little bit more than an eighth of an inch. It has to be just a little bit more than the thickness of your not cardstock, chipboard. So that's what you have to leave past the corner, so that when you wrap around, it's going to wrap the corner, so you don't get to see the edge here of the chipboard. And why I don't cut all the way like this is because when they meet, they're going to cross, they're going to overlap. That's what we want, so that we don't have a little gap where we see the chipboard. So first I do a first fold, just like this, about 90 degrees. It's been a while since I've done the binder in English, so I'm going to redo the whole thing. So after you've done that, you have to use your bone folder, and you just press around. So that's to make sure that your 90 degree here is really good. As you can see here, it's kind of round, but after I press with my bone folder, now you can see the 90 degree fold. So you have to do that. And when you get to the gaps here where you have the space between the pieces of chipboard, you have to be careful not to press too hard. You don't want to tear it. And in the corners also you have to be careful, not to pass too quick, because then you might tear the cardstock. And then once that's done, then I'm going to do another fold. So I'm going to press a little bit like this, like a 45 degree angle. Then I'm going to fold going inwards like this and like this, to make sure that my fold is done on the second 90 degrees. Because as you can see, I'll show you. Let's put some light. Here on a piece of chipboard, I have about a 1/16 of an inch thickness. So you have 2 90 degree angles. You have one here and you have one here. So when you wrap around, you have to make sure that it's nice and flush here, and then again on this one. And then when you press with your bone folder, you're going to define this nice angle, 90 degree angle that you want to see. So that's what we see right here. After I'm going to be done this, I'm going to go like this. So then you're going to see the 90 degree, 2 90 degrees. I'll show you after I finish gluing it. So I'm going to go around. So first a 45 degree angle, then 90, just to make sure that we're really on the edge, that our paper is really on the edge of the chipboard. because if you have a bubble there, if it's not all the way to the edge, you will never be able to have a second 90-degree fold with your cardstock. And this is heavyweight cardstock, so that's why it's a little bit stiffer. So I go step by step, a little bit at a time. 45, then 90. 45, 90. I've done that one already. You can see that. Okay, now I'm going to put the glue. So I put some glue here, not too much, but I need to have some a little bit everywhere to make sure that it's nice and glued solid. So I take the center here and I push towards an angle like this. So here I'm going to go that way, here I'm going to go that way. So I go inwards and diagonal. So that way my paper is really nicely on the edge of the chipboard. Okay, another one here. This one I don't have much, as you can see. That's not a lot, but I can still manage. And then I'm going to put some here between my pieces of cardstock that are meeting. So make sure I'm right on the edge. Put my fingers, I go inwards, diagonal, inwards, diagonal. I do the same here. Make sure it's nice and really stuck there. It's hard because it's so tiny. But if you can have like double what the space you have here, it's perfect. And then you can do that once in a while to make sure that you're really nicely following the edge of the chipboard. And this is going to stay there forever. I don't want to use any double-sided score tape because I don't think it would stay there forever. But the glue here, that's for sure. That's why I mostly never use any, except for exceptions, except for when I really need to have I cannot use hot glue, I cannot use wet glue, then I use the score tape, but as least as I can. And also it's expensive, you know. So when I buy a roll, I have enough for maybe a whole year. I don't have much here. Too much glue here. Make sure it's nice and flat on the edge of the chipboard. And I just fold and press. And then the last thing you're going to need to do is pressing all around the edge on the rim of the cover to make sure that you have defined this angle of 90 degrees on each side. So you go like this. Oh, you have to hold your piece. And then you go on the top like this. So it makes a really nice edge. Need to do that. Absolutely. It's a must. Makes your binder much more professional. Make sure it's all nice and stuck there. I press hard enough so that it really flattens the rim there, but not too hard so that it doesn't tear anything. So after you've done that, you probably see that you have little corners sticking out, so you have to go on the side where you align with the edge of the chipboard. You go like this, and don't press too hard, because if you press too hard, you're going to go further down, and then you're going to get to see your chipboard. So just whatever is sticking out. If you don't have any, that means the amount of cardstock that you left past the corner when you cut the corners was just. So I rather have a little bit to cut than being too just and then not having enough. So here we have it. It's not crossing very much. I think I'm going to add a little piece here. It's going to be nice. I think I didn't cross enough here for my magnets. I should have had this going lower. So that's that thing with my unicorn here made me make it lower. And if I want to have it really square, see, I only have this much. So I recommend that you have this part here going a little bit lower. You have to have at least an inch here. So I'm going to do something really nice. I'm going to use a card. I'm going to see how it's going to work. Check. So I'm going to use this little card here. I'm going to cover it, I'm going to mat it, and then it's going to be glued underneath right here, and there's going to be a magnet behind it. See? So this is going to be sticking out. Maybe I'll pick something else. I have to check. Maybe this one. And it's going to be just glued underneath, and then it's going to have a magnet behind here. It's going to do the trick. So I'm going to pick something there. But first, so what you have to do now is put the fabric on your pieces here, okay? So I'm going to put, if you checked, because I just made this one, so I'm going to add on the video on the part A, the measurement for this flap here to be longer. So that will be in the description box. So that shows you that you have to always check the description box when you follow a tutorial, because sometimes you need to have you have some measurements, something that you need to fix. So here I don't think I have enough fabric. I thought I had enough, but it seems like it's not the case. This one is not big enough. This one is not big enough. So I have to go get another fabric, so I'll be right back. So I got this fabric here because that one I didn't have enough. I thought I had enough, but it's not the case. Okay, so now what you need to do is have just a little bit passed on each side and a little bit more on the top and the bottom. So here I have about an inch on each side. Okay, you have 1 inch wider on each side, and then same on the top and bottom. You'll be good. So I'm gonna have a little. It's gonna snow in here pretty soon. See, it's snowing. Okay, so I got this piece here. So here I have 2 wide, so just 1 inch. So I'm gonna remove some here. So now you have to use either Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 glue. So you put the glue on, so you can do like this so you know exactly where you're going. So first you're gonna put the glue all around and in the center. And then you align this so that you have enough on the top and bottom, and then you go like this and you make sure you have enough on each side. There you go. Perfect. And then you do the same. Oh, well, first you have to glue this here. If you have too much here, you can remove some of it. Maybe there's a little bit too much here. Not really. So you put the glue on the edge here so that it's glued on the edges on the sides as well. This one I might have a little bit too much. I think it's just a little crooked. I'm just going to remove a little bit here. Make it straight. And I'm going to put some glue right here. This glue, I hate this bottle because what it does is after you put the glue on, it just continues to leak and then you're losing a lot of glue. Okay, next, this one here. So this one you're doing the same thing. So you have here and here. So here, here's my scissors. From here to here, so you have quite a bit there. Right here. A little bit on each side. I'm going to put the glue right there. I wanted to use other color than white, but that's all I have with me now, so I have no choice. On top here, you have to have a little bit on each side. Then you check to see if you have too much on each side here. So here I have a little bit too much on this side, so I'm just going to cut some off. Maybe my fabric was not straight, cut straight. That's the only reason. And then you put the glue here. Maybe I have too much here. I have a little bit too much because I want to put some paper and then there's not going to be much room. So I'm going to remove a little bit here. This side here, turn it, and then you're going to trim a little bit here, add a little bit more than an inch. Much here, huh? Quite a bit there. And here, because I'm using fur fabric, I will need to trim some of the fur here, because when I'm going to glue some stuff there, might not glue because it's too thick of fur. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my scissors and just trim like this. Remove as much as I can. Every time you use fur fabric, you have to do this. So here we have this like that. So as you can see, it's crossing just a little bit. If I put small magnets, it could be good, but just. So I'm really going to use a little piece of little card that I'm going to put here with the magnet for sure. Okay, so now what you got to do is you have to cut your paper. So my front is here, okay? The large piece, that's the last one, not the small one. The small one is the flap, so the front is right here. So you have to have the top of the front right there. Now you just measure and then cover all the pieces. So here I'm just leaving like a 1/16 of an inch on each side. And here, I know it's folding there, it has to at least meet or even cross a little bit. I'm going to have it cross a little bit, but I'm going to cut right here. all you do is just cover the outside and the inside. But before you cover the inside, you have to make sure that you've covered the outside with the paper and the trim. I'm going to show you one, and then you're going to do the other one. So here, this is going to go right here. Okay. So I'm going to use my paper glue for the paper, and then I'm going to use the fabric glue for the paper on the fabric, because this tacky glue does not glue fabric, so you have to go with the fabric here. Faux fur on my glue. There. So right, oh, you have to put your magnet. If you have a magnet, it's time to put it right here. By the way, I should put mine, huh? Where's my magnet? Right here. Should have done that before. So just remove one side. So my magnet is going to be here. So if I have a card that's about this size, it's going to be right here. But if you have enough that's overlapping, like this, you put the magnet, one in the center or two on the edges here, but you have to make sure that you have enough room, because you don't want to put it too close to the edge, because you need to mat the paper and be able to go on the edge here with the paper glued right here. So it has to be lower here, and then it'll be the same with this one. But now we're just doing the outside here. So I'm removing this one. And I'm going to do on top there, right there on the edge. There you go. And then you put the paper here and here, same thing, okay? It's going to be like this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your little trim. So here I have some lace I'm putting here. So I'm going to put the lace right there on the edge. By the way, I want it to go upwards. So look at this thing. I hate that. It does that. So leave about an inch here on the edge, and then you go right there, trying to kind of overlap paper and fabric. That's the whole purpose of doing this. After you've done some of it, you just check and see if it's nice and even on each side. Then you cut the excess. And if you have another one, you put it on top, ribbon, whatever, and then you're going to glue that on here. Okay, so you see that's why we decided to, we did the little bit of trimming of the fabric, because then this wouldn't stick. So you do that on each side, and you do that 4 times, okay, each side that you have your fabric. So if you're really close to the gap here, try and go more towards the center of the front piece, so that it doesn't make any bulk in the fold. Okay, so you just go like diagonal like this, and then the same with your little trim that you're putting on top. Here I'm using trim that doesn't fray, so I'm going to put it after I'm all done the whole project, so it's going to go on top right here. Okay, so you do that all 3 pieces, and then what you do after you've done that, you're going to cut a piece of, now we're not using any more of the paper like this, so you're going to cut a piece of paper that you're going to want to put inside. So it has to go from about 1/8 of an inch from the edge here to the edge here, so you measure that, and also it has to be like 1/2 an inch on each side here, overlapping. So you glue that on top, but you do not fold it quite yet. So you're going to do that on 2 pieces, and then I'm going to come back to finish it up. Okay, so I'll be back after these messages. No, see you later. Bye bye.